you're ready to say yes to your wealthiest and most abundant life, overflowing bank accounts, and a deep sense of inner fulfillment, well, then you are definitely in the right place. Welcome to the Girl Unfiltered podcast. I'm your host, Helena Grace Donald, and I'm a money mindset expert, success and business coach. But really, all you need to know is that I am obsessed with helping women feel safe and in total flow around money. So, let's do this. Welcome, Tara, to the Girl Unfiltered podcast. I'm so excited to have you here.
Yay, thank you for having me.
I feel like this podcast interview is long overdue. Like, I've been meaning to reach out to you for a while and just be like, we have to jump on a podcast. So we've both been a little bit about how we know each other, because I love that we do have, you know, a friendship and a personal connection, which is going to probably make this podcast episode super fun. So we met, how many years ago was it now in LA?
LA was March 2019, but we sort of connected through the coaching program we were in before that anyway. But it was March 2019 that we met in person in LA for the first time.
Wow. I thought it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Wow. Okay. I'm actually surprised that it was March 2019. But yeah, we met in LA and we had the same business coach. So we had an amazing retreat in LA. I loved it. It was so cool to meet all of these women that you've kind of shared a connection with and then actually finally meet them in person. But it feels like we've been hanging out ever since, and yet I haven't physically seen you.
I don't think a week has gone by when I haven't spoken to you.
I know. And I just have to say, like, isn't that so cool that in our industry, I feel like our tribe of online women really support each other, and it is so badass. And it just, honestly, I don't think everyone realizes how much it lifts me up every single day.
Oh, I agree completely. And it's so special and it's so unique. And even though, you know, we're both happily married, it's so nice to still have this support of epic, badass women who are out there crushing it and showing up for themselves. And we cheerlead for each other, support each other, celebrate with each other. And I think it is just incredible. And it is one of my favorite things in business, I think, is this community and my biz besties that I've got.
Completely. Like, we've even had virtual champagne parties. Tara and I launched our podcast the same week. So we had like this podcast launch party, which was awesome. And we both do love champagne, I think.
Absolutely. Very much a verve girl.
Yes, exactly. You know, I think there are a lot of women who are starting out their businesses who don't feel like they have that tribe. Did you feel like you had support of people from the very beginning who understood what you were doing? Or was that something that you created as you went along?
No, this is completely new for me. Like, when I started, I was bullied by other women. I had other women trying to make me feel like I was wrong or insignificant, or who was I to suddenly be showing up on social media? So when I went into this group coaching program, which I think I joined in October 2018, and when I met you, it was so nice to suddenly have this support network. And I know that a lot of my clients, they feel that they need some sort of support network like this as well. So it was just incredible. And, you know, having WhatsApp numbers and, you know, friends that I can just message and say, got this really quick problem, or I'm struggling with this, can you help? And they do. And it's so important, I think, to have that support network. Plus, you are the average of the 5 people you hang around with. If I'm hanging around with you and all my other biz besties, well, that can only be a good thing for me, right? And I love the motivation and the support. Honestly, it fills me up so much.
Wow, I had no idea that you were bullied by other women when you started out. That's pretty intense. So there are going to be people who are listening who either have a fear of what will happen if they actually show up online, or genuinely they are experiencing that. I've got to say, I never really experienced it on that level, but I had a big fear of what people would say when I did show up. I think it was mainly in my head, but you actually experienced it. So how did you work through that?
It knocked me a little bit for a while. I remember I shared a blog around social media algorithm changes, right? And some so-called industry expert, just slated it. And she said, this is all lies, all bullshit. You know, she's trying to scare you. And I thought, how rude. And now all I do is try and show up, because I'm like, I'm not letting her put me down. I'm not letting her not let me show up. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to like be as successful as I can and have a 7-figure business. And I'm owning that now because I'm not letting you keep me quiet. But it was hard at the time because I wasn't as confident. I wasn't as sort of owning my business and my presence. And I was still new. So being new on the scene, I didn't know what I was doing to the extent that I do now. And it was really hard. But now I'm just like, you're not taking control now, love.
Wow. Yeah.
A lot of people would have that fear and think, oh, I won't show up because my competitor might say something. And now I'm just like, I'm going to show up even more.
Oh, I love that. Yes. Oh my gosh. You did the opposite. You like took the thought or the belief and you're like, I'm going to run in the opposite direction with it. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And I think, I don't know about, I mean, I'm speaking about, the female entrepreneurial industry right now, but we do have a big fear of what other people are going to say about us. And it's like, I think it's also very, very linked to this idea of imposter syndrome. And I think that there's a term called imposter syndrome for a reason. And it's amazing, like the number of women who reach out to me, whether they're clients or people in my community who suddenly realize what imposter syndrome is. And they're like, holy crap, this is what I've been feeling. And there's an actual term for it, which I think empowers them. So is that something that you then dealt with because you were going into that kind of niche industry?
I didn't really feel that at the time, to be honest, because I think I knew so much about the industry. I knew so much about what I was doing, the people that I was helping. So I didn't really feel the imposter syndrome then. Interestingly, it was on that retreat in LA last year that I really felt the imposter syndrome because I thought, I'm in Beverly Hills in a $6 million mansion and I'm just the haughty girl from the Cotswolds. So that was my imposter syndrome then massively. And I thought, we're being coached by somebody who charges $250,000 for a 9-month coaching program. Who am I to be here? So that's when I had imposter syndrome massively in my business. And it wasn't even that long ago. And I think it always rises its head, doesn't it? It keeps popping up, especially as you go through to the next level. And I think it's so common. So many people deal with it.
Yeah, it is. And I love that you just said that it kind of happens at every stage and at every up level, because it's the same with money mindset work. So there will be a new energetic limit that maybe you have placed on what feels safe for you to receive. And then when you're being pushed to go to the next level, that energetic standard that you've set starts being threatened and it can feel really uncomfortable. And I know firsthand that money mindset work has been an incredible game changer in your business. So would you share a little bit? Let's go back to the beginning. Did you even know what money mindset work was in the beginning? Or were you like, this is total bullshit woo-woo stuff?
Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't even really know what mindset work was until end of 2018. Didn't know what the law of attraction was. Didn't understand meditation. I thought it was all so woo-woo. So I started working on my mindset towards the end of 2018. And it wasn't, I'd say, until last summer that I really had a good understanding of money mindset. And oh my goodness, has it been instrumental to like everything I have achieved and created and to my big goals I'm working towards. It is just insane. And now I love it. I'm addicted to it, I swear.
I love that you're like, I didn't even know about this stuff. And now if anyone goes and checks out her Instagram or anything in her business, she's like the queen of all of these things and has implemented all of these like techniques into her own coaching because you know how much it supported you. So you're now using it to support your clients. So I just think that's epic. I love that.
Yeah, I remember this whole fear coming up thinking, well, who am I to do mindset coaching? And I know we worked on this together. And, I have done so many qualifications and coaching qualifications and things. And I just want to help clients, have the right mindset and the right marketing to support them in the way that it has done for me. So I just can't praise mindset work enough. I think it's so essential to anyone, particularly business owners.
Yeah. Do you think you were more focused, which was me in the beginning too, on strategy? I was the kind of person that thought, why isn't my business taking off? Why am I not hitting my income goals? Let me apply another strategy. Let me work another 12 to 14 hour day and stay up until midnight working on this landing page, hoping that it would be the missing key. And of course, the missing key was the mindset stuff, but so few people realize that.
Was that what you experienced as well?
Massively. So, yeah, interestingly, the retreat that we went on, I thought that would be all like marketing and showing up and press and, creating this wildly successful business and, implementing strategies and all of those things. And the whole week was mindset. And that absolutely blew me away. And I think it was then that I realized the importance of it. And I thought, wow, this is what everybody is focusing on. And it obviously must be really important and it must work. So, yeah, I think that was when I really started taking it seriously.
Yeah, that week was pretty epic. So what was your money mindset like prior to doing the work? If you could just share with the listeners some of the maybe beliefs or ways that you operated around money beforehand.
Yeah, so a big thing for me was I couldn't increase my prices, or there was a limit to what I could charge and what I could earn, because people in the industry didn't spend money on mindset and marketing. So I'm in the equine industry, and a lot of horsey people spend a lot of their money on their horse. They won't spend it on themselves. And I always thought, people that have equine businesses don't have money. And this is just the belief that I've been told over years and years and years, heard it time and time again. And that was my belief. And I remember trying to put my prices up on the retreat. And, I just said, I can't charge that. People won't pay it. And I have gradually put them up since then. I've then, come up with more blocks and more fears. And a lot of it, when we dig subconsciously, has been linked to my worth, which I had no idea. I'm very confident. I always believe in myself, no matter what I'm doing. But subconsciously, not being able to hit my goals or people not paying me a certain price was linked to how worthy I thought I was, which is just insane. Like, I would never have thought that in my life. And then, when we start uncovering that, and then I started, doing all my affirmations and like gratitudes and, really priming myself, started tapping. That made such a difference. And, I now have people paying me £7,500 for 12 months of coaching when I could not have ever dreamed that was possible this time last year. Not at all.
And I just thank you for sharing that it was in the subconscious, because you took the time to actually work on it and you uncovered stories that you had been telling yourself from literally what age? Like 3, 4, 5 years old.
Yeah.
And then that was affecting you as a grown woman in your business, getting on calls with clients, asking, and telling people your prices. And I feel like so few people connect the dots, but when you did, it was like, holy crap, and everything shifted. So could you explain a little bit, how did you uncover that subconscious belief and what is that subconscious work?
So I just want to sort of go flash back a little bit. I remember July last year, 2019. So May had been my biggest month to that point. And I kind of just assumed that June would be as well. And I did a post about this morning, actually, and I didn't celebrate my big month in May. I just kind of took it for granted, didn't do my thank yous to the universe. Then June was just crashing down. Like, it was crap. I had no new clients. Like, I still had my monthly people, but it was nothing compared to my May. And then in July, again, crickets, like nothing was happening. And I remember I had so many invoices to pay. I think I owed people about £7,000 altogether, and I owed the tax man and just had so much that I had to pay. I had nothing coming in. And now I look back and think, God, the law of attraction was hating me, because all I was focusing on was the lack and what was going out or what had to go out. And the fact I had no money for it to go out. So I remember, I think it was like mid-July, and I just thought, oh my God, this is not what I have worked this hard for. My business is my baby. Like, I love it so much. And I thought, I cannot let this take me or take my business. And I remember reaching out to you, and I absolutely could not afford your fee. I remember saying to you, right, can we start on the 1st of August? And I will find that money and I will make that money some way. Everyone else can wait. And I think then August then topped my biggest month in May. And throughout that 12-week period that we worked together, we went so deep, and it was really uncomfortable a lot of the time. But I know that, there's no pain, no gain. And doing that really deep subconscious work and tapping on it and actually recognizing that any thoughts and beliefs that I currently had were my old paradigm. And I still do that in my morning routine now. I'm loving and creating my new paradigm. And we tapped on it and tapped on it and tapped on it. And, it took time. It wasn't an instant change. But then I was able to raise my prices. I was busier than ever, like booking my dream clients. And in that 12-week period, I earned more than 2 times my annual salary from when I was employed a number of years ago, just in 3 months, which was just insane. And my mindset from that point changed massively. And I can't comprehend, and I can't even put into words how much that changed over that period compared to that time in July when I was just at rock bottom. And that is just from doing subconscious mindset work. Because I know that when I do the deep work, I know I get results. So it's not the marketing. I'm fine with marketing. It's not strategy. It's not, my service. I know I'm good at what I do. It was all mindset work. And all I needed to do was that deep subconscious work. And it was like something had like switched in my mind. I just can't even comprehend it. You're a wizard. That's what.
Tara's like the one person who named me the money wizard, and I love it.
Is there a female version of a wizard, or is a wizard like any gender?
I don't really know. I've never thought about that.
I'll think of one for you.
Because I don't really want to be a witch, so I guess we'll stick with money wizard. I guess I love the idea of it, and there's a wizard emoji, so I use that.
So aligned.
That is so powerful. Like, there's so much that I want to unpack with that, because I know that you mentioned, and I know this from when we first started working together, that your business was very much in what I have called in my subconscious money mindset work, the yo-yo effect.
Oh my God, yeah.
And it's like you have one really high month like you had in that July period. Was it July or was it May?
It was May. Yeah, that was my first 15K month in May, and then crashed down June and July.
And that was the yo-yo effect, because this is a very common pattern that I see with female entrepreneurs, obviously in the work that I do, is that because they haven't worked yet on their inner money set point, and their inner money set point is the place at which they feel comfortable receiving a certain amount of money. What happened energetically was because you had the belief and the subconscious belief that you weren't necessarily worthy of receiving. You received that big injection of cash, so you got to the 15K. And then what very often happens is, because the subconscious work hasn't yet matched the vibration of the 15K, the next month, and what often very happens with everyone who hasn't done this yet, is suddenly they get hit with a big bill, or suddenly they have a ton of invoices to pay, or the money comes crashing down and they don't receive the same amount as before, and they go right back down to zero. I've even worked with people who are like, I've had like my most successful year in business and I've had no money at the end to show for it because of this yo-yo effect, because their body is actually programmed to react in this way, in this yo-yo, like traumatic way that they've held onto in their bodies. So how has that changed in your business now moving forward, now that once you released that?
I think it makes me feel a lot more safe and secure. I've also done a lot sort of tapping and morning routine and affirmations and things around the fact that actually it is okay for me to save money, because that's one thing I've been awful at. And I know I'm affirming that right now, but I have been. So, I'm trying to sort of focus on having those consistent months, because it's so much better from a business perspective to be able to do that. But I'm also then focusing on, actually, it's safe for me to have overflowing bank accounts. It's safe for me to have money in my savings, and it feels so good to do. So that was, I think, really important for me. And that's what I always try and help my clients do as well. It's all very well having a 10K month, but if your next month is £1,000, that kind of takes away from that 10K somewhat, doesn't it? Because it's not healthy. It's not good from a mindset perspective. So it was really good. And I think we set the goal, didn't we? If I had my 3 consistent 15K months, I'd buy myself a pair of Louboutins. And I did. And I love them.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about that, because you create the most amazing vision boards. And what I love is that you've manifested so many of the things on there. And you did celebrate the fact, and you have to celebrate, like, when the universe blesses you with the thing that you've asked for, which was those 3 consecutive 15K months in business, you were a rock star. You went and you actually bought the thing that you promised yourself that you would. And how did that feel?
Well, Little Miss Fear popped up, and the who am I to have a pair of Louboutins popped up, and who am I to spend £500 on a pair of heels popped up. And it actually took me quite a while, and I didn't buy them until January. So even though I was meant to buy them at the end of October, I didn't buy them until January. And I'm really annoyed at myself that I didn't buy them until January, because I could have worn them to all the Christmas parties, couldn't I? And when I did buy them and they turned up and I was like, oh my goodness, they're so beautiful. And then they didn't fit. And I was like, is this the universe telling me that I shouldn't have them? So I sent them back, and then I went to London and I went into the Harrods store and I tried them on and I bought them, and it felt so good to buy them. And then I went for lunch and wine with some of my biz besties actually. And I put them on and had some skinny jeans on, and I just felt like such a boss. And I was like, every time I wear these shoes now, it's a symbol of A, my hard work, B, the fact that if you want something bad enough, you can get it. And that actually you can work to goals and you can smash them. And I absolutely adore them now. Love, love, love.
Oh, I just feel like that was the universe's way of saying, no, you actually have to have the experience of walking into Harrods and buying them, because that probably felt way more cool.
Way better. And when I was buying them, the guy was like, I think he was Italian, and he was like, is this your first pair? And like raised his eyebrows at me. And I was like, oh my God, yes, it is. Can you tell? Am I shaking like a leaf? He said, you'll never look back. And I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. It just made me feel so special with everything around that experience. And I was just like, oh, and now I want another pair.
Oh, you'll never ever forget your first pair. That's amazing. And some people might be listening and be like, well, I'm not into heels, or I'm not this. It's like, you do you. But if you promise yourself something, you have to allow yourself to receive it, because otherwise you're sending the signal that you don't believe in yourself. So I'm glad that you broke through that and that you went and you actually allowed yourself to have it. But what else have you manifested on your vision boards, and how have you used vision boards in your life and your business? Because I think you are like the queen of vision boards.
I am a very visual person. I love like pictures and pretty things. So my car, I put my car on my vision board on New Year's Eve of 2018. It's a very, very, very fast, very gorgeous Audi. And I bought the car 3 months later. I just kept seeing the car everywhere. I kept looking at the car on my vision board. Every morning, I'd pretend I was walking out to my drive and I'd see it there. I was visualizing it. I pictured how it would feel to turn up to meetings, to go and see my friends, to just be cruising around the country, living the dream. So that was 3 months. Had the Maldives on there. Well, my husband bought it for me for my 30th birthday, but I'm sure I manifested that gift.
I don't care how it comes. It came to you.
That was in 4 months. I also had some Verve Clicquot on there so that when I had my biggest month, I could drink it, and I had it in my fridge the whole time. God, what else? Lots of little things like free champagne when I go to places, and little like pieces of jewelry. I wanted a gorgeous ring from the US. I put that on there and I was like, right, next time I sign a client, I'm going to buy myself this ring. Just, yeah, so many things. And there's so many things on there. I'm always updating it. I want a first class plane ticket. That's what I'm going for next, as and when we can fly again, obviously. Maldives is back on there. So as I want to return, yeah, I love vision boards. I think the really important thing with them is that when you are looking at those pictures, you're imagining being there or driving that thing, or how you're going to feel to have that in your life. And I think that's really important. So many people struggle to connect with that feeling. So, if you want to treat yourself to an amazing trench coat, imagine how it will feel to have it in your wardrobe. Imagine how it will feel to wear it to a meeting or on date night. If it's a car, imagine how it will feel to drive it. Like, my car makes me so happy every single time I get in it. I just adore it. I was tuning into these feelings before I even had test driven one. And I think that's so, so important. And, it doesn't always have to be big things. It can be little things. It can be like the kitchen that you want. It can be a gorgeous like bouquet of flowers, if that means you want a fresh bouquet of flowers every week. It can be anything. And I think it's really good on a vision board to have a selection of bigger things, so longer term projects, as well as smaller things, such as a bottle of Verve. If, at the end of your best month ever, you're going to celebrate in style.
I love it. You're speaking my language. Just amazing. And it is true. It's not enough to put the images up and walk past it, but feel disconnected from it. Yes, it's great to create the vision board if that's something that you connect to and you are a visual person, but it is so important to place yourself into the feeling of having it And not only to place yourself into the feeling of habit, but feeling deserving of having it too and believing that it's possible. So how could somebody, what tips would you give to somebody to really connect into and step into that vision and that place of deservingness? What do you do to do that? Because some people are like, how do I visualize it?
Good question. So I would say start small. So is there something that you've wanted to buy for a while, like a new laptop or a watch or a pair of designer sunglasses? Oh, that was another one from mine, wasn't it? So start relatively small and just start to associate with it and start to, visualize on it. Or if visualizing is too much for you, just look at that vision board and just spend a couple of minutes looking at each item on there and really feeling how you would feel to have that thing. I think that's so, so important. And, start to imagine having it in your life and, reaching into your handbag to get those sunglasses out or, having the best champagne in your fridge or having that car on your drive. Try and start to imagine having it in your life. And it almost becomes a new normal because you're looking at this vision board every single morning. And I sort of focus on my vision board every morning in my morning routine. And all of these things do become the new normal. Now, sometimes you can get a bit disconnected with them, and I'm forever updating mine because, I just suddenly changed my mind on something, which is fine. Like that doesn't matter. We can just take that image off, replace it with something else. Or if you actually start manifesting all of these things, you will need to update it anyway. And I think just start to play with it. Think small to start with, and then try and think much bigger. It doesn't have to be a Maldives beach on there, which feels so far away right now. Start small and work your way up to those bigger things.
Yes. And sometimes, I have to say, sometimes we make them feel further away than they have to be. I'm talking like personally, this is what I did. I had this dream that one day, and I'm doing air quotes, but you can't see me, when I'd made it, that I would be the kind of woman that could drive a drop top convertible down the PCH. And I had this really far off vision of me thinking one day when I made it, but saying when I make it, well, what the F does that mean? What does making it mean? So I was kind of putting this vision really far off in the distant future. And I realized that I was doing it. And so I now allow myself sometimes to step into the vision now, in the here and now. So after my first biggest month in business, I actually rented the most beautiful white Porsche drop top. And I gave it to myself 2 or 3 days. I created a Porsche music playlist and I drove that thing at sunset down the PCH. And I said to myself in that moment, I will never forget that moment, being like, my goals, my visions, my dreams are coming true for me right here, right now, and I can reach out and grab them at any time I choose. So sometimes we can give ourselves a taste of it, which steps us into the vibration of feeling aligned with it at any moment. And sometimes we just push it too far away.
Definitely. That's so hitting the nail on the head. It really, really is. It might be so hard to imagine right now, but I'd still start connecting to that. I've got pictures of my dream kitchen in the most gorgeous big barn conversion on mine. It's I know that's not going to happen in the shorter term. It's not to say it can't happen longer term in 10 years' time, and I will find this perfect barn. It's all about trying to do what feels right for you. Try it. If it doesn't work, try it in a slightly different way. Try it with slightly different images. Just start having a bit of fun with it.
Totally. I envision my kitchen too. I actually use it in my meditation almost every day because I have this vision of this huge kitchen. For me, the kitchen is the heart of the home. And I just have this vision and it's so clear to me. I remember the first day I meditated on it and I could literally feel the coolness of the white marble. I could feel the sun coming in. I could taste the champagne as I was cheersing my husband that our dream kitchen had finally been created. And it's so clear to me that I know that has already happened. I know there's a version of me where I'm already living in that kitchen. I'm just moving towards it. But at any moment, I can step back into that vision. So I really call you, if you're going to start visualizing, as you were already saying about the trench coat and different things like that, if you're going to visualize something, work on your senses in the visualization because that's super empowering for the mind. So what can you physically feel? What can you physically touch? What do you smell? What do you taste? Who is there with you? What do you feel? All of those things really spark the imagination and allow you to step into the vibrational alignment of the thing that you're trying to create. So that's my biggest tip when it comes to manifestation.
I think also people assume that if you put this car on your vision board, you will just be given a car. And it doesn't work like that. It's just helping you connect to it so that your subconscious mind is like always looking for ways to make that happen. So you aren't just going to suddenly be given your dream home, but actually your mind is so connected to that kitchen that you're probably subconsciously looking around, aren't you? And you're, seeing things pop up on Pinterest, and you're probably looking for houses, for ads and things, ads for houses, just trying to keep your mind connected and putting that message out to the universe of what you are so clear on wanting and what you are like desiring and going to get.
Yes. And I know that I already named you the queen of vision boards, but actually, I think you're the queen of morning routines as well. Please, can you share with everyone your morning routine? Because it is off the chain. Like, you have the most badass morning routine of anyone, and it helps you step so fully into alignment with what you want to create that day and that month. So what is it that you do every morning?
Okay, yes, I love mine. And it's hands down got me where I am today and got me to 6 figures. And honestly, best thing I've done. So I start with gratitudes. So even if I'm having a bad week, which very, very rarely happens, I'm still grateful for everything. Grateful for the sunshine, for this house, for where we live. I'm grateful for my husband, my pets, my business, my clients, my friends. I'm grateful for everything, even the flowers on my table. I then do my affirmations. So I basically am all about doing financial affirmations. So it's I am wealthy. I am a financial wizard. I am amazing at managing money. Money flows to me consistently. I love making money. Money flows to me from so many places. And I just have like a little money rampage, which I adore. I then journal. So if there's anything going on in my mind, I just get it out. It just helps me see a way to progress forwards. I then do my vision board. So my vision board is very simply 3 pieces of A4 paper. And I just find images on Google and I drop them into a Pages document and then I print that. So super basic, super easy. So obviously I've got a lot of pictures on my vision board. So each morning I just focus on like between 3 and 5. So if I'm focusing on the Maldives, I will just close my eyes and I will picture and feel being on that beach. What cocktail will I have in my hand? I'll feel the sun on my skin and I will, be so happy. I've got some quiet music playing, some chill out trance, I've got my husband next to me. And I really visualize that in that moment. So I focus on sort of 3 to 5 things on my vision board. I then either meditate or I tap. And you very kindly created me a bespoke tapping video, which I'm so grateful for.
Yeah.
And I still listen to it now. And it just helps. So if I ever feel overwhelmed, so I'm launching at the moment. So lots of discovery calls, lots of things going on. So, it's so easy for overwhelm to creep in. If I'm going to a new goal, so easy for, the fear factor to come in. So the tapping just helps me keep that in control. If I don't tap, I will do a 5-minute guided meditation on YouTube and just sit there and quietly calm my mind. Then I write out my goal. So I write out my monthly goal. So if I'm working towards a 20K month, I'll put, I am so thankful for my 20K month. Again, I really tune into the feelings of how it feels to already have that. I'm just imagining that I've already got this and I'm stepping into that energy and getting into alignment of the person that already has that. I would then write out my yearly goal. Again, I am so thankful to hit this amount this year. And then my last thing is my mission statement. So who is it that I want to show up as today? Who do I need to be? How do I need to serve my clients? Am I on coaching calls all day? So my mission is to be the best coach I can be. Is it a day where I'm doing my content and creating my podcast? In which case, I just need to be like a content creator queen. So that mission statement changes a little bit as well. And generally, that whole thing takes me about 20 minutes. I then go upstairs and get ready because I then have to go and do my horse. So while I'm getting ready, I listen to a motivational playlist or a motivational video on YouTube. I then drive 2 miles to our other farm to go and do my horse. And whilst on that drive in my gorgeous car that I adore, I play one of my favorite songs super loud and I sing my heart out at the top of my voice. And oh my God, that wakes me up. I'm so grateful for that drive. It's like 4 minutes of heaven. The combination of the gratitudes, positivity, the affirmations, the calmness from the meditation, and then I get myself all pumped up again. Love it. Works wonders.
Wow. Did I say that she was the queen of morning routines, or did I say that she was the queen?
I just love it. I make my clients do it. And so often they do it for 2 weeks and they say, Tara, this is boring. I don't like it. And I'm like, look, stick with me. I know what I'm talking about. You always get resistance between weeks 1 and weeks 2. Week 3, once that's done, you'll be fine and on your way. And then they message me a week later. They're like, this is the best thing I've ever done. Thank you so much for making me do it. And I even designed a morning routine notepad as well that I give to my clients and have on my website just to help guide people. Oh, I love it.
Wow. Wow. I love it. Every time I hear it, I do go, oh my gosh, how long does this take her? But it doesn't take as long as I think it takes to explain it. You can tap into it so quickly. So I think that's really amazing for people to hear that literally like the mindset side of it takes about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think we need to all remind ourselves, maybe we all do have time in the mornings to be doing this.
Well, I think so. Actually, that's the great thing, I think, with your mindset, isn't it? Is that you don't have to spend a huge amount of time every day on it. You know, a little priming in the morning. Sometimes I'll do a lunchtime routine if I'm like so full on between discovery calls and I just need to realign. But most of the time it's 20 minutes max in the morning, sees me through the day, and I'm just set for goodness.
I love it. You know, you're going to get me out of bed probably an hour earlier tomorrow just so I can really pack it in. So you mentioned tapping a few times, and I've been wanting to skirt back to it because a few people might even be listening and thinking, what is she talking about? Is she putting on tapping shoes? But this is a big part of the work that I do at the end of every client session. I use a tool called tapping, or it's also called the emotional freedom technique. And it is so powerful. So could you describe to people what it was like when you first started using it and how you now incorporate it into your life and mindset work?
Yes, so I remember going back to LA again on the retreat, and you spoke to one of my biz besties and went to one side, did a little bit of tapping, and she came back. She was like, that woman is insane. And I said, what, Helena? She said, yeah. And I said, why? She said, we've just done tapping. And I was like, I don't even know what that is. I'm in LA, they're doing weird tapping, and I don't even know what that is. God.
That's hilarious. I didn't even know that story.
I remember at the end of the first session, you're like, right, we're just going to start some tapping. Now, by this point, I Googled it a little bit, but I still didn't really have a clue. Had no idea how it worked, didn't know what I was meant to do. And I was like, right, I'll black this then. And I thought, you know, when you try something new, just show up with confidence and then it'll look like you know what you're doing. So that's what I did. And to this day, I'm still trying to learn how it works, but it just does. And I love it. And it can just so often instantly feel better from like a little 5-10 minute tapping. And it's so simple and so easy, really, when you know how, and when you have this routine or a practice that you know how to do. And it's so powerful, so powerful.
Yeah. And it takes what? It can honestly sometimes take 5 to 10 minutes. That's it. And it's so powerful because if you have a thought or a belief or a fear, like let's say you are in launch mode and you're increasing your prices for this launch and there's a fear, oh my gosh, what if people don't buy from me? Oh, okay, I'm feeling anxiety over it. What most people will do is they'll bury the anxiety and it will just stay in their bodies. But what I love is that we both now use a tool called tapping, which actually helps you release it in the very moment, which means it doesn't hold you back. So have you used that to shift different beliefs in times like that?
I've used it recently. So recently I burnt myself out just because since lockdown happened here in the UK mid-March, I have not stopped and kept showing up for all my clients, working 7 days a week so that my clients kept a presence and kept having sales. I kept showing up so much on social media and I just burnt myself out. And I remember thinking, oh my God, so overwhelmed, so much to do. I had a week off, which is the hardest thing when you're not going to a beach. And I did some tapping on it. And I remember one of the things in the tapping video was around, you know, having to work so hard and being so exhausted. And I thought, oh my God, this is me right now. Like, this is literally how I am right now. And even at the end of that tapping video, I thought, yes, I want to have a 7-figure business at some point, but it doesn't have to be with me burning out. And I can create my own vision of success. I just have to get better at outsourcing and growing my team and actually being really mindful of my self-care and, you know, the amount of work that I'm doing and the amount of pressure I'm putting on myself. So it really, really helped with that. And I think any time that overwhelm does creep in, you know, as it so does, it's completely normal. to just be able to have something up your sleeve that can enable you to release that is just gold. It really is.
Wow. And yeah, I think so many people have that belief that they have to work super hard to reach their income goals. And obviously that's something that I always support my clients in busting through. But it has been an interesting time because I've noticed myself kind of stepping into that a little bit in the last few weeks. I think it maybe has to do with the fact we're all at home. So if you're a work from homer normally, you don't have that kind of switch off the same way that maybe you would have before, where you have a life outside that you can just leave the office behind to. But I found myself having to remind myself that I am my own boss and that nothing should come at the jeopardy of the lifestyle that I want to create. And that's the very reason that I started my business in the first place. And in fact, I kid you not, my husband left a note for me this morning and it said, "Babe, remember you are your own boss."
Oh, he's so cute. It's so true. It really, really is. I think also I've got a home office. I always do my coaching on Zoom anyway, so that side of things hasn't changed. What has changed is the fact that I'm not able to go anywhere. So normally I'd go shopping or I'd go out for the day or go to a garden centre because I'm that cool. And I would be away with work, so I'd be staying in nice hotels, seeing clients or going to the spa. Or, Sai and I try and get away every couple of months, every 3 months, even if it's just for a weekend. And we haven't done any of that. And I think because I have been here so much, I've had my laptop, I've had my phone, I'm on the Wi-Fi, and I just have been guilty of working so much. I mean, my clients have had the best months ever, which is amazing. But we've got to try and put that structure in place so that they can still have the epic results that they've been having. But actually, I know that I need to switch off. Luckily, the weather is very nice here right now. So that's sort of helping a little bit. But yeah, I think it's really important. I had a conversation with a client the other day around creating what her vision of success looked like. Because for her, she can't work all the hours that I work. She just can't be doing all of the things because she's got 2 children, she's got family, she's got, I think, dogs and goats and sheep, and she just can't be doing what I'm doing. So actually, we worked really hard to create that vision of success for her. And afterwards, she was like, "I'm already living my vision of success." And I was like, oh my God, this is so good. It's like the light bulb moment. And I thought, there you go. As soon as you stop comparing yourself to everybody else and stop thinking about what they look like or how successful they look and comparing that to your own vision, I think that's so important because people get so hung up on the comparison and what everyone else is doing and where they should be. And I think as soon as you can change that word should to could, so instead of I should be more successful, I could be more successful, that has such a big difference and such a big impact on the context of that phrase and feeling.
I have chills because, yes, I mean, I agree with this 1000%. We have to define our own definition of success. And that is unique to everybody. I did the same thing with a client last week too. And it's so empowering. Like, go away and look at what do you actually want? What is your definition of success? Not somebody else's. Maybe 7 figures isn't your definition of success, and that's okay. And we have to give ourselves permission to actually look at what are you working towards? What do you want to create and make it unique to you? So what do you define, Tara, as your definition of success now?
Being super happy, being able to afford to buy nice things, going on holiday. I love going on holiday, being able to treat my friends and family to things and gifts and helping people. Like, to me, the bigger my business is and the more money I bring in and the more successful my business is, the more people I'm helping. And like my why is always helping clients hit their goals and live the life that they desire and deserve. So if I'm being successful, to me, that is helping as many people as I can.
Oh, I love that. We're so aligned. I have to quickly mention, because I think this is really key, and I love that you actually speak about this. Like, I'm not pulling this figure out of nowhere. Like, it's even on your website, is the amount of money that you have spent on your own coaches and your own self-development. And that amount of money would probably terrify so many people. Like, they wouldn't feel confident making that kind of investment in their own business and their own growth. Were you scared, or was it something that you just jumped into head first?
I was terrified. So it was April 2017, and I lost 2 clients on one day. I had somebody who owed me money for 6 months worth of work, and it all led to IBS. And I just remember thinking, is this the end of my business? I just didn't see a way forward. And I had spoken to a business coach who I had met through networking. And I reached out to her and I just said, look, this is what's going on. It's a complete shit show. Can you help? I just feel so stuck. And she charged £100 an hour. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I haven't even got £100 in my bank. Like, I'm going to have to try and find that money. So I did a social media post and said that I'm doing a super special press release offer. And I sold a couple and generated the £100 to pay this coach. But again, that fear came up. It was like, who am I to have a coach? Like, I'm just a little PR girl. You know, I live in the countryside, live in the Cotswolds. People like me don't have business coaches. But it was the best thing I did. And, you know, gradually started doing more with her, managed to get up to a certain point, managed to get to like the consistent 5K months. And then I was like, right, I want more. And that was when she then recommended I worked with her coach, which was when I then met you with Nick Pigeon. And that investment scared me. That was a 5-figure investment. And I just thought, oh my God, I am mad. But I knew that there was such alignment with Nick and what she did. And I just felt that it would do something for me. It would be beneficial. And that was when I then started working on my mindset work. And then since then, obviously, I've invested in your program. I currently have like a financial planning coach who helps with like investments and sort of growing my sort of financial bubble that I live in. So it's all very much strategic. It's not mindset. It's very much focused around sort of my net worth and all of those sorts of things. I'm also currently doing 2 online courses. So I'm like forever investing in myself. I've just signed up to do a launch program with a coach who's also one of my biz besties, Social Cactus. And then I'm speaking to somebody about Instagram tomorrow. So I know that anytime I invest, I always get that investment back and then some. Plus, I think I'm a bit addicted to learning because I didn't like learning at school and now I love it. And I always think that, you know, the more I'm investing in myself, the better I can support my clients. So I think, you know, so many people are scared to invest. They have that fear of, oh my gosh, it's a lot of money. What if I don't make it back? Which is, you know, a natural fear, I think. But I would say, you know, do your research, speak to people, jump on discovery calls, follow them on social media, listen to their every word, and just see if they feel like a good fit for you. See if they feel authentic and like they could actually get you the results. But so often I feel that it will be the best investment you make because when you bring in somebody else from the outside, they're able to see things that you're not. So yes, you might feel like you're doing your best, you're showing up on social media, but they'll see things on your social media that you're not doing. They'll notice things with your mindset or the way you talk to yourself. They'll notice things about your website or your pricing and packages that just isn't converting. And I just think having that expert opinion and somebody being able to look in from the outside is so important. And just having somebody there to kind of hold your hand, to support you and to help you along the way and hold you accountable, I think it's so important. I am a genius when it comes to being held accountable. I even have a water bottle that gives me the little hourly countdowns. And then at lunchtime, we fill it back up again and it counts me down in the afternoon. That's how much I like being held accountable.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I love it.
Wow.
But, you know, I still have wobbles. I still have wobbles all the time. Mid-March, I lost clients every single day when lockdown hit. Every single day. They're all my PR and marketing clients. But I still had the mindset of abundance and I knew it wasn't impacting my self-worth. I was still being really positive, really grateful. I was still showing up on social media. And I knew that this didn't impact my business. I wasn't going to let it impact my business. And as soon as I sort of recognized that, and I was like, right, who do I need to speak to? What do I need to do? What courses do I need to do to get myself like through this, get myself back into a vibe? Yeah, and then May's been my best month ever by far.
It's amazing. Mine too. Because I had the exact same beliefs. I was like, nope, not allowing any drop of fear into my body. I am perfectly safe and secure. Money is always in flow. And like, it was crazy. I mean, I would get on discovery calls with potential clients and I kid you not, we didn't even talk about the pandemic. It wasn't coming into my energy field in my business, if that makes sense. Like obviously outside world, I was taking all the precautions, but in my own business, it just didn't infiltrate my bubble, which I love.
Yeah, I agree. And like you've still been showing up, doing your podcast. I was exactly the same. I was like, right, I'm just going to keep crushing it. Admittedly, I kind of didn't know what goal to be working towards at the beginning of April because, you know, I wasn't at that point in the right flow and I recognized that. And I thought, you know, do I still go for my big annual goal? I mean, it's a big goal. Do I still go for that? You know, I don't feel it's possible. And then it was mid-April. I thought, I'm going to go for it. I absolutely am going to go for it. And, you the past 6 weeks have been absolutely insane, but amazing. And I've been in such good alignment, and like every single person that pays me, I'm like so grateful. I'm like, thank you, universe. I love you. And just like, oh my God, doing all the mindset work, sticking to my morning routine, and just being in such flow and knowing that this goal of mine is completely possible. And if you can have your biggest month when we're technically still in a global pandemic, then oh my goodness, think what's possible when we're out of it. I mean, I'm so excited for the rest of the year now.
That's amazing. I love that. I haven't even thought about that, but yeah, holy crap. So Tara, thank you so much, so much for being so open and honest and sharing all your tools and your journey. What is one last thing that you would love to just share with the listener, whether it's something you would just wish she knew about herself or something that you wish you had known? What would you love to say to our listeners?
That the life that you desire and deserve, that you might not even know is possible and out there yet, is so possible for you. Like, you can have lots of money. You can charge more than you know. You can charge more than you're charging right now. You can do what you want. You can be, do, have, and create anything if you have the right mindset. And that is literally all it is. Success in life and success in anything is 80% mindset. So if it's one thing you do, start looking into how you can improve your mindset. That's hands down my biggest thing. And I wish I started working on my mindset years ago. I really do. I think it should be taught in schools, to be honest.
Yes, maybe we should start a petition, 100%.
Not like we have enough going on, but
I know. Thank you so much, Tara. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you for having me. I cannot wait to see you soon. I'm coming straight to LA as soon as we're allowed to fly.
Yes, as long as you bring your Louboutins, and I'll pick you up in the Porsche.
Deal. Thank you, darling.
Bye.
If you loved today's episode, please be sure to leave a review on iTunes and hit the subscribe button, because women supporting women is my jam. And if you want extra daily doses of motivation, then be sure to follow me on Instagram @girl_unfiltered. And go ahead and screenshot this episode, send me a DM, and share your biggest takeaway, because I love hearing from you and I just really want to drop into your DMs, basically. So I'm sending you so much love and abundance, and have an amazing day.